Hi, good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are the headlines. 1 crore of fake beneficiaries among 10 crore registered in ANGANWADIs identified and removed from list. Women and Child Development Minister Maneka Gandhi says the government trying to identify children who really need to be fed. Hails Prime Minister's decision to increase incentives for health workers. 11 states have issued notification for setting up 12 special courts to exclusively deal with cases involving politicians. Centre informed Supreme Court in an affidavit. Apex Court had ordered setting up of special courts to fast-track long-pending trials of MPs and MLAs last year. 2-week India-US joint military exercise in the foothills of Himalayas from 16th of September. 14th edition of Yudh Abhyas 2018 to see 700 personnel simulate a scenario of counter-insurgency operations in the mountainous terrains in Uttarakhand. Pollution's toll on health in many European countries worse than India and China, says the European Court of Auditors. In its report, it says more than 1,000 Europeans die prematurely each day. Adds some EU guidelines weaker than those suggested by World Health Organization. And defending champions India to take on Pakistan in the semi-final of the SAAF Football Championship in Dhaka today. India aiming for their 8th title. Nepal to play Maldives in the other semi-final match. Our top story this morning about 1 crore fake beneficiaries registered in ANGANWADIs across the country have been identified and removed from the list. Women and Child Development Minister Maneka Gandhi has said that the process of identifying and eliminating fake beneficiaries is an ongoing process. There are around 14 lakh ANGANWADIs across the country and 10 crore beneficiaries that include children under the age of 6 and pregnant women and lactating mothers. Last month, 14 lakh of fake names of children were found registered in the ANGANWADIs of Assam. And following the revelation, Maneka Gandhi had ordered all state governments to verify the number of children who really need to be fed. And thanking Prime Minister Narendra Modi for leading the Poshan Abhiyan from the front, she said that the increase in incentives announced on Tuesday will boost the morale of ANGANWADI workers and help improve the delivery of services.
We started identifying the needs. So the first one we did was to increase the money available for the food, which was a measly 6 rupees a day. The second one was to identify all the fake beneficiaries so that more money was available in the system. The ANGANWADIs had no incentives. So first what we did was we gave them uniforms, we gave them insurance, we gave them a promotion system.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday interacted with nearly 24 lakh accredited social health activists or the ASHA workers, auxiliary nurse, midwives, ANGANWADI and health workers through his app. And during the interaction, he made several announcements, including doubling of incentives to ASHA workers and their helpers. Here is a report.
At a video interaction with ANGANWADI and auxiliary nurse midwife workers on Tuesday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a landmark increase in remuneration for accredited social health activists, ASHA and ANGANWADI workers. The announcement will be effective from October. In addition, all ASHA workers and their helpers will get free insurance cover under the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana and the Prime Minister Suraksha Bima Yojana.
बीते 4 वर्षों में आप सभी ने देखा और अनुभव किया होगा कि स्वास्थ्य को लेकर सरकार प्रभावी कदम उठा रही है। बीमारी न हो इसके लिए योग को बल दिया जा रहा है, एक्सरसाइज को बल दिया जा रहा है, फिजिकल एक्टिविटी को बल दिया जा रहा है और दूसरी तरफ स्वच्छता का महत्व बढ़ाया गया है।
The Prime Minister announced doubling of routine incentives given to ASHA workers. He also announced a significant increase in the honorarium for ANGANWADI workers. Those receiving 3,000 rupees so far will now get 4,500 rupees. Those receiving 2200 rupees will get 3500 rupees. Honorarium for Anganwadi helpers has been increased from 1500 to 2500 rupees. State governments also give them a separate incentive.
हमें मिलकर कुपोषण के खिलाफ, गंदगी के खिलाफ, मातृत्व की समस्याओं के खिलाफ सफलता हासिल होगी। तभी ये AAA की हमारी ये ताकत, आंगनवाड़ी, आशा और AN, ये AAA ये A ग्रेड में भारत को ला करके रखेगी।
He also announced that Anganwadi workers and helpers using techniques like common application software will get additional incentives. The Prime Minister appreciated their efforts to work together to improve the delivery of health and nutrition services and achieve the goal of Poshan Abhiyan. Panchanan Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news now. The UIDAI has once again dismissed reports that Aadhaar software can be hacked. The authority on Tuesday said that no operator can make or update Aadhaar unless an individual provides biometric details. In an official statement, the Unique Identification Authority of India stressed that the system cannot be bypassed while refuting all suggestions of its software and the ID database being purportedly compromised. And terming the claims as lacking substance, UIDAI claimed that certain vested interests are deliberately trying to create confusion in the minds of people about the system. UIDAI was responding after a news report of Aadhaar enrollment software being allegedly hacked surfaced recently. And the centre has told the Supreme Court that it is willing to accommodate the suggestions of a TMC MLA, Mahua Moitra, in the proposal of the Unique Identification Authority of India to hire a social media agency to monitor online platforms. Last week, the Apex Court had said that the proposal of UIDAI, which runs the Aadhaar scheme, to hire a social media agency to monitor such platforms was contrary to its earlier submissions. It had asked the Attorney General to assist it in the hearing of the plea on the issue. Earlier, during an earlier hearing on a number of petitions challenging the validity of the Aadhaar scheme, the UIDAI had told the court that it did not want to monitor the online activities of citizens holding Aadhaar cards. And the Supreme Court has asked the banks not to initiate insolvency proceedings against loan defaulting power companies. A Supreme Court bench asked the banks to maintain a status quo and not file any insolvency cases till November, when the matter will be next heard by the Apex Court. It also agreed to transfer to itself 12 cases pending before different high courts related to this issue. The issue pertains to RBI's revised framework introduced in the month of February, which has provisions to declare a company bankrupt even on a one-day overdue. Now, banks have an exposure of around 1.74 lakh crore rupees to stressed power assets. RBI's deadline to resolve bad loans in NPA accounts expired on 27th of August. And former RBI Governor Rajan has said that a large number of bad loans, or the NPAs, originated between 2006 to 2008 when India's economic growth was strong and banks made mistakes. In a note to Parliament's Estimates Committee on Non-Performing Assets of Public Sector Banks, the former RBI Governor said that global slowdown, project cost overruns and the government decision-making were among the factors that contributed to this process. In the note that was prepared on the request of committee chairman and BJP leader Murli Manohar Joshi, Rajan also said that the credit guarantee scheme for MSME run by the SIDBI is a growing contingent liability and it needs to be examined with urgency. Further, he called for examining Mudra loans and Kisan credit cards more closely for potential credit risk. The ruling BJP has long claimed that the previous UPA government was largely to blame for the NPA crisis in Indian banks.
लोन पर रघुराम राजन का जो वक्तव्य है वो अपने आप में प्रधानमंत्री जी के उस बयान की पुष्टि करता है कि बड़े-बड़े लोगों के द्वारा ऐसे ऐसे कर्जे और दोबारा कर्जे दिए गए जिससे देश का जो आर्थिक भार है वो बढ़े, और साथ ही जैसा कि एक पत्रकार ने आपसे पहले कहा कि अगर बैंक खराब लोन के बारे में सूचना भी करने का प्रयास करता तो उनको धमकी दी जाती। तो ये ना सिर्फ चिंता का विषय है आर्थिक दृष्टिकोण से, लेकिन लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की दृष्टि से भी रघुराम राजन कांग्रेस के नेतृत्व के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा प्रश्न छोड़कर जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि वित्त मंत्रालय की कमान कांग्रेस के नेताओं के हाथ में थी।
Whatever were the bad loans which Mr. Rajan has referred to, they were in total only 2,83,000 crore on 26 May 2014. How much are the bad loans today? In Parliament, up to March 2018, in a reply, government has said they have gone up from 2,83,000 crore to 10,30,000 crore, and today they have reached 12 lakh crore. 12 lakh crore minus 2,83,000 crore is simple mathematics, my friend. 9,17,000 crore are the bad loan NPAs in 52 months of Modi government.
And on to the other top story of the day. The centre has informed the Supreme Court that 12 special courts have been set up across 11 states exclusively to try sitting MPs and MLAs. The Law Ministry said that 2 special courts are established in Delhi and 1 each in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. Out of the 12 special courts, 6 will be set up at the session courts level, 5 at the magistrate level. However, the class of the court in Tamil Nadu has not been indicated. The centre said that 1,233 cases had been transferred, 136 disposed of, and 1,097 cases were pending in these special courts. The territorial jurisdiction of these courts would cover the entire state concerned. Remember, last year, the Supreme Court had ordered a setting off of special courts across the country to fast-track the long-pending trials of lawmakers. And the Election Commission has issued a show-cause notice to the Aam Aadmi Party seeking an explanation regarding discrepancies in the donations during the financial year 2014-15. In its notice, the Election Commission claimed that transactions through Hawala operators were wrongly disclosed as voluntary donations. The move comes after a report by the Central Board of Direct Taxes on the alleged concealment of donations by the party. And according to the report, the Aam Aadmi Party's bank account has recorded a total credit of 67.67 crore rupees from donations of over 20,000. However, the party disclosed a total income of only 54.15 crore rupees in its audited accounts for this year. The assessing officer has claimed that 13.16 crore rupees has not been accounted for by the party. The commission sought its response within 20 days. Meanwhile, the Aam Aadmi Party has dismissed the allegations made against it, releasing a statement. A party leader and Rajya Sabha MP, N.T. Gupta, has said that the CBDT has misinterpreted the facts related to the transactions. We'll take a very short break here. We'll be right back with more news. Stay tuned.
But first up, One Nation, One Card policy.
If they are brought into the digital mode, one, public transport will not make losses. Secondly, it will be much easier for the consumers to pay, and for the corporations also it is very good because they get their cash and everything on an on-time basis. So the chances of pilferage is less.
Every system in India gets saturated and it weans away people from using them. So first we have to create a system where people are able to get convenient system, then they will adopt these digital cards.
We'll take a closer look on the new drone policy.
The policy looks good. I have no problem with its being adopted, but I see huge gaps in its implementation and monitoring.
You have to make sure that the dangers are avoided and we put it in the right direction so that we use it in a very effective manner in case of disasters and emergency.
Welcome back after the break. Railway Minister Piyush Goyal has said that rail punctuality has improved by 20% this year. Goyal said that the railways lost 88,000 minutes per day in journey time in March 2018, but the number of minutes lost were reduced to 59,000 per day by August 2018. Goyal credited the railway employees for their efforts in making honest reporting of delays for improvement in the rail punctuality. He said that the implementation of automatic data logger at over 98 railway routes had led to the dip in the punctuality of trains, but minute analysis of routes by the staff has improved punctuality by 20% on an average. And there is good news for those who travel frequently from Delhi to Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh, because the Union Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath laid the foundation stone for the Delhi-Saharanpur highway on Tuesday. The highway will now connect the national capital with Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh. The 154-kilometer long road will be executed by the National Highways Authority of India and developed in 3 phases. The project is worth 1,500.5 crore rupees. The highway will open the doors of development for districts like Saharanpur, Shamli and Muzaffarnagar. And the Supreme Court has termed illegal constructions in the forest areas of Aravalli Hills as frightening. The court directed the Haryana government to demolish illegal structures built there after 18th of August 1992. The apex court said that the construction activity carried out by private realtor Kant & Company blatantly defied the 1992 Supreme Court notification. The bench asked Kant & Company to deposit 5 crore rupees for the rehabilitation of the damaged areas. The court also said that there is no doubt that irreversible damage has been caused to the environment and ecology of the Aravalli Hills. On to the other top story of the day. The armies of India and the US will carry out a military training exercise in the foothills of the Himalayas at Chaubatia in Uttarakhand from 16th of September. The 2-week exercise, called as a Yudh Abhyas 2018, will witness the participation of about 350 personnel of the US Army and similar strength of the Garud Division of the Indian Army. Now, this will be the 14th edition of one of the longest-running joint military training exercises between the two sides. The combined exercise will simulate a scenario where both the nations are working together in counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism environment in mountainous terrain. It will conclude on 29th of September. And the Indian Army began a separate joint military exercises with the 2 Central Asian countries, Kazakhstan and Mongolia, on Tuesday. The exercise between the armies of India and Kazakhstan commenced on Tuesday in Otar region, approximately 175 kilometers from Almar in Kazakhstan. The 14-day joint exercise aims to promote army-to-army relations and exchanging of skills and experiences between the Indian Army and the Kazakhstan Army. A separate joint military exercise called as Nomadic Elephant between the Indian Army and the Mongolian Army also commenced on Tuesday at the Mongolian Armed Forces Desert Region Training Center there. Now, Elephant is an annual bilateral exercise which is designed to strengthen the partnership between the 2 armed forces. And just days after snubbing the joint BIMSTEC military drill in Pune, Nepal is all set to take part in a 12-day-long military exercise with China later this month. Now, China and Nepal held a joint military exercise for the first time last year, raising concerns in India over the mounting security cooperation between the 2 neighbors. Nepal Army spokesperson said on Monday that these military exercises with China are scheduled to take place from 17th of September to 28th of September in China. And the exercise is called as the Friendship Part 2. He said that The main focal point of the exercise would be counter-terror operations. The timing of the decision is significant because it comes at a time when Nepal has finalized the transit and transportation agreement with China, which will allow Kathmandu to access Beijing's sea and land ports. And Russia kicked off what it says are its largest war games in nearly 4 decades on Tuesday as it hosted a bilateral meeting between President Vladimir Putin and Chinese leader Xi Jinping in the far eastern city of Vladivostok. At least 3 lakh troops, 36,000 vehicles and 1,000 aircrafts are taking part in the Vostok 2018 exercises that will last till 17th of September. Russian troops are joined by thousands of troops from China. Vostok 2018 is taking place at a time of heightened tension between the West and Russia, and NATO has said that it will monitor the exercise closely, as will be the United States, which has a strong military presence in the Asia-Pacific region. Meanwhile, these exercises coincide with the Russian-sponsored Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok on the Russian Pacific coast. Here, Putin met with his Chinese counterpart on the sidelines of the event. The two, after their meeting, called for promoting substantial cooperation to cement the bilateral relations. Xi and Putin acknowledged that China-Russia ties have been developing with the stronger momentum this year and have entered a new period of faster development on a higher level. President Xi Jinping also said that the two nations should strengthen the synergy of the Belt and Road Initiative and Eurasian Economic Union and increase trade. Tuesday's meeting between the two leaders come amid continued US-led sanctions against Russia and also an escalating US-China trade war. Air pollution is now the biggest environmental risk to public health in Europe, says a report by the EU Court of Auditors. The report says that air pollution causes an estimated 1,000 Europeans die prematurely each day, and most EU countries are failing to meet the air quality standards set 20 years ago. The report has been compiled by the European Court of Auditors, or the ECA, the European Union body which scrutinizes how the bloc spends its budget. It noted that pollution's toll on health in Bulgaria and other Eastern European countries was even worse than in Asian giants China and India. It adds that the failures in the 28-nation bloc were all the more glaring as some EU guidelines were even weaker than those suggested by the WHO or the World Health Organization. It further adds that failures cost hundreds of billions of dollars in health-related costs, but the huge impact of toxic air has not been reflected in action to reduce emissions. Now news from the United States, where residents on the East Coast are bracing for Hurricane Florence as it strengthened into a Category 4 storm and headed in their direction. Mandatory evacuations have been ordered for most of the South Carolina residents. They've also been ordered for parts of coastal North Carolina as well as Virginia. US's Hurricane Center has warned that winds and massive waves will pound coastal North and South Carolina, where Florence will make a landfall on Friday, and its rains will take a heavy toll for miles inland. Florence grew large on Tuesday and is expected to bring days of rains, deadly flooding and power outages. US President Donald Trump has declared an emergency in North Carolina, allowing it to access federal funds. Florence is one of the strongest hurricanes to churn towards the eastern seaboard in decades. Let's get all the sporting action now. The Indian football team, who will take on arch rivals Pakistan in the second semi-final of the ongoing SAAF championships in Dhaka today. Defending champions India are aiming for their 8th title, and with the absence of Afghanistan, chances are high for India to win the tournament. India earlier registered a 2-0 win over Sri Lanka and Maldives to qualify for the semi-finals, while Pakistan came into the contest with 2 wins against Bhutan and Nepal and a defeat at the hands of Bangladesh. On to cricket news now. India lost the fifth and the final test to England by 118 runs at the Oval. For India, KL Rahul scored 149 runs, while Rishabh Pant scored 114 in the second innings. But the centuries from both the batsmen went in vain as the team lost the game. Rahul and Pant together had 204 runs stand for the sixth wicket before Adil Rashid bowled a glorious leg break to get rid of Rahul, and in the very next over, he picked the wicket of Pant. James Addison was the pick of the bowlers for England as he took 3 wickets, while Sam Curry and Rashid picked 2 wickets each. England clinched the series 4-1. And Indian women team defeated Sri Lanka by 9 wickets in the first ODI of the ICC Women's Championship. Chasing a target of 99 runs, India lost only a single wicket to clinch the match. Opener Smriti Mandhana scored an unbeaten 73 runs in the run chase. And batting first, Sri Lanka were bundled out for 98 runs with some brilliant bowling performance by the Indian side. Mansi Joshi was the pick of the bowlers as she took 3 wickets, while Jhulan Goswami and Poonam Yadav picked 2 wickets apiece. And Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu, Kidambi Srikanth and HS Pranoy have progressed to the second round of their respective events at the Japan Open. Third-seeded PV Sindhu defeated Sayaka Takashaki 21-17, 21-7, 21-13 in 53 minutes long match in the women's singles opening round. She will next face F. Gang of China. And in the men's singles, HS Pranoy defeated current Asian gold medalist Jonathan Christie of Indonesia 21-18, 21-17 to set up a clash against Anthony Jiting of Indonesia. And in other men's singles, Kidambi Srikanth beat China's Wai Yuang 21-13, 21-15. He will next face Winsett Wong Winky of Hong Kong. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching.